Welcome back to another DIY tutorial where I will be showing you how to upcycle these super stunning tin cans for your plants at home. Head down to your local grocery store and find some cans of variable sizes. To remove the lids, make sure to use a safe cut can opener so you don't risk cutting yourself as you paint. To remove the labels, you can use hot water and Goo Gone. Some labels will be harder to remove than others. Just remember that you will be painting over any residue left over. To paint your cans, we went with a soft yellow, soft pink, and robin's egg blue. We did 2 coats on each, but you can do however you need to get a nice even finish. These eyelets were perfect for finding a way to attach the charms to the handles of the cans. To purchase the ones we are using in this video, go ahead and click the link in the description. Go ahead and use thin pliers to create an opening in the eyelet before putting them in the charm to make it easier later on, and avoid putting any extra pressure on the resin to avoid breakage. Next is to make the resin charms. We accomplished this using 2 methods. The first method was to leave the eyelet in the resin as it cured, or you can screw the eyelet into the resin once it's cured but still warm. Both worked fine, so it's up to you based on what you'd prefer. Take your dewdrop mold and amazing cast resin, take a 1:1 ratio between parts A and B, and mix very thoroughly. For this project, we are making 3 cans, and 2 will have their own charm, while the third gets 2 ladybugs dangling on top of each other. Each single charm will only need 1 eyelet, but 1 ladybug will get 2, 1 on top and 1 on the bottom, while the second ladybug will only get 1 on the top. Using popsicle sticks to prop up the eyelets was super helpful in assuring that they would not cure crooked. As the resin is curing, head back over to the cans, make sure the paint is dry, and seal with your favorite water-based sealer to prepare for your transfer. We used General Finishes Flat Out Flat, but you can check with your local stockist to figure out what brand and kind of sealer is best for you. It is completely up to you to decide if you want these inside or outside, so go ahead and choose a sealer that fits best for outdoors or indoors. Once the sealer has dried on the cans, it's time to remove the resin castings. Make sure they are a little bit pliable and an opaque white. Once your resin is cured, it's time to apply your transfer. We went with 3 images from the IOD Ephemeral Melange transfer, focusing on ones that looked springy. These designs are actually labels from old seed catalogs. They went on super easily. Make sure you are going slowly in between the ridges so you don't get too excited and lose some of the design in the process. A little tip is to varnish with the smooth side from your carrier sheet and make sure that you have pressed the transfer into all of the little ridges so that they aren't popping up from the surface. Make sure to burnish with the smooth side of your transfer backing. Repeat this with each new design and make sure to pay attention to the size of the transfer design that you use, looking to have some nice clear space around the sides and bottoms to ensure it doesn't come out looking too overcrowded. These transfers from the IOD Ephemeral Melange transfer set were perfect for the springtime. We thought that this would be a wonderful decoration for either inside or outside of your home. It's completely up to you. It's so helpful how they all come in different sizes, so if you want to use each design on a bigger or a smaller can or a medium-sized can, it's perfect for all the different sizing options. Once you have applied all of the transfers, apply dark wax to give a worn vintage look over the whole can. Adding dark wax is always a great way to add a little extra touch to your project. If you feel like your project needs to look more aged or vintage, dark wax is always your solution. If you have applied too much dark wax and you want the can to be brighter, a little tip is to take a paper towel and remove all of the wax until you're happy with your can. Once your cans are done, it's time to make the holes for the handle. We used a tool called the Crocodile and it worked very beautifully and safely. Go ahead and place holes close to the top, but not so near the edge that you don't get a clean hole. Complete on all the cans and set aside. Now it's time to paint the castings. We chose to do this with various acrylic paints. Don't be afraid to look up reference photos and take your time. If it feels too intimidating, you can always go simple with a single color, but it is really rewarding to make them more true to life. And make sure that you allow them to dry. For this step, I hopped on Pinterest to find reference photos for the charms. I used an artist grade brush and some acrylic paints. This took me probably around an hour to paint all 3 charms because I love to get lost in all of the realistic details and time just passes so much quicker when I'm painting. But of course, you can always simplify this process by choosing your own creative path when it comes to painting and customizing your charms. While we're watching me finalize the paint details, let's talk about the next step in this process where we will be connecting our eyelets to make the charms. These charms will be hanging over the center of our tin, and we'll be making our own handles to hang them from as well. To attach the ladybugs together, bend the bottom eyelet and loop it through the top eyelet on the second ladybug. You will need pliers to do this. Once your ladybugs are connected, it is time to assemble the handles. Take 3mm aluminum wire and cut to the desired length. Using pliers, curl the ends and smooth out your handle as best you can. Next, you need a way to keep the charm centered on the handle. Our solution was to coil 1mm wire around the top of the handle and then attaching another jewelry ring to the top and dangling each charm from the 1mm wire. Visit our website, ironorchiddesigns.com, and find the store locator to find your stockist and get a hold of all of the IOD products we used for this project. Fair warning, when using the 1mm wire, I did get poked a couple of times, so to avoid this, I would recommend wearing gloves or any sort of protection. To loop the charms through the 1mm wire, you are going to insert it through where the 1mm wire is sticking out and just curl it around until it is in the middle of your handle. And just like that, you have turned basic aluminum cans into a beautiful planter, perfect for spring and summer for your garden or home. Make sure to like and subscribe for more DIY tutorials.